She recorded everything that happened at Diddy's party. Then she disappeared. The last text message Zara Ellis sent was timestamped 2:43 a.m. Something isn't right here. I'm recording everything. If I don't check in by morning, you know where to look. 3 days later, her phone was found abandoned in a drainage ditch 5 miles from Sean Diddy Combs' Hampton's estate. The voice memo app still running. Battery drained to zero. Zara never expected to receive an invitation to one of Diddy's legendary parties. As a 26-year-old investigative journalist for an independent media outlet, she typically covered corporate corruption and political scandals, not entertainment. But when her editor forwarded her an email containing a sleek black digital invitation, card adorned with gold lettering, she immediately understood this wasn't just an assignment. It was an opportunity. "This is your chance to break into the mainstream," Marcus had told her, leaning against her desk, coffee breath mingling with the scent of his overpowering cologne. An exclusive look inside the most talked-about private parties in the industry. Everyone speculating what really happens behind those doors. Zara twirled a loose strand of her dark hair around her finger, a nervous habit from childhood. "Why me? I don't cover celebrity news." Marcus's eyes narrowed. "Because you're unknown. And because after your piece on the governor's offshore accounts, I know you don't scare easily." The invitation had come through a source, a former employee of Combs who claimed to have witnessed concerning behavior at several events, but feared coming forward without evidence. The source had managed to get Zara's name on the exclusive guest list for the upcoming Hampton estate gathering, advertised simply as a midsummer night. "Just observe," Marcus instructed. "Take mental notes. If you see anything unusual, we'll discuss next steps." What he really meant was, "If you see anything worth risking a lawsuit over, we'll talk." The night of the party, Zara stood before her bathroom mirror, barely recognizing herself. The black designer dress, borrowed from the magazine's fashion department, hugged her figure in a way her usual blazers and jeans never did. She secured a miniature recording device to her bra strap, testing it once more on her phone. The technology was legal in New York. Single-party consent meant she could record conversations she participated in without informing others. Still, her hands trembled slightly as she applied her lipstick. "Just in and out," she whispered to her reflection. Eyes open, nothing reckless. The Uber dropped her at the imposing gates of the Hampton estate just after 10 p.m. Security was extensive. Guards with earpieces checked IDs against digital tablets, while others conducted discreet pat-downs and bag searches. Zara felt a momentary panic as a guard's hands passed near her concealed recorder, but the device went undetected. Beyond the gates, the mansion blazed with light. Music pulsed from hidden speakers embedded in the manicured landscape. Celebrities, models, musicians, and industry executives mingled on sprawling terraces overlooking the Atlantic. Champagne flowed from fountains, and white-gloved servers carried trays of hors d'oeuvres that probably cost more than Zara's monthly rent. "First, Diddy party?" asked a tall woman in a shimmering gold dress appearing suddenly beside Zara at the outdoor bar. "Is it that obvious?" Zara smiled, accepting a flute of champagne from a passing server. "I'm Maya," the woman said, her voice warm but her eyes calculating. "I've been to more of these than I can count. Stick with me. I'll show you the ropes." Maya seemed to know everyone, gliding through the crowd with practiced ease, introducing Zara as an old friend from college. With each introduction, Zara committed names and faces to memory, maintaining her cover as a digital marketing executive who had recently worked with one of Diddy's business partners. It was nearly midnight when Diddy himself made an appearance, descending a grand staircase to thunderous applause. He was magnetic, dressed in all white, diamond cufflinks catching the light with each gesture. He worked the room like a politician, remembering names, embracing guests, ensuring everyone felt personally acknowledged. When Maya steered Zara into his orbit, she wasn't prepared for the intensity of his focus. "Zara Ellis," he said, taking her hand. "I don't believe we've met before. I'd remember." Her heart pounded. "First time at one of your events. It's impressive." His smile didn't reach his eyes. "Enjoying yourself?" Absolutely. Though I've heard the real party happens later. Something shifted in his expression. Subtle, but unmistakable. Maya, make sure our new friend gets the complete experience tonight. As he moved on to other guests, Maya's grip on Zara's arm tightened. You don't request the complete experience. It finds you when you're ready. The mansion was a labyrinth of luxury. Each room meticulously designed, each corner surveilled by discreet security cameras disguised as art pieces. Zara noted them all, mentally mapping the property while maintaining her cover. Around 1 a.m., the crowd began to thin. Some guests departed, while others received subtle indications to stay. Maya guided Zara toward a service elevator concealed behind a bookshelf in the East Wing library. The night's just getting started, Maya whispered, pressing her palm against a biometric scanner beside the elevator. You wanted to see everything, right? The basement level revealed a different atmosphere entirely. Gone were the Instagram-worthy decorations and celebrity photo opportunities. This space was designed for privacy, soundproofed walls, minimal lighting, and notably, no visible security cameras. About 30 guests had migrated to this level, the energy shifting from celebratory to something more charged. In one corner, a well-known film producer examined a series of photographs spread across a table, negotiating intensely with a man Zara didn't recognize. By the bar, a major streaming platform executive was engaged in what appeared to be a heated argument with a young actress whose tears were smudging her perfect makeup. Zara maintained her composure, though her heart hammered against her ribs. She surreptitiously adjusted her hidden recorder, ensuring it was capturing everything. What exactly happens down here? She asked Maya, feigning naive excitement rather than the dread creeping through her veins. Maya's smile was enigmatic. Connections are made, deals are struck, careers are launched or ended. She nodded toward a closed door guarded by 2 security personnel. The real power players are in the back room. That's where you decide what you really want, and what you're willing to do for it. A server appeared with a tray of drinks different from those offered upstairs, darker liquids in unmarked glasses. Maya took 2, handing one to Zara. To new opportunities, Maya toasted. Zara pretended to sip, noting how Maya watched her intently. When Maya was momentarily distracted by a new arrival, Zara discreetly emptied her glass into a nearby plant. Maya, a deep voice called from across the room. It was Diddy's chief of security, a former military man named Richardson. Boss wants to see you. As Maya excused herself, Zara seized the opportunity to explore. She drifted through the underground space, engaging in brief conversations, always listening more than speaking. She learned of contracts signed without lawyers present, of blackmail material exchanged like currency, of young talent being auditioned for roles that never materialized. In a dimly lit corridor, she overheard a conversation that made her blood run cold. The girl from last month's party, the one making noise online, has she been handled? It was Diddy's voice, unmistakable even at a whisper. Completely, responded a voice she didn't recognize. The NDA had extensive mental health clauses. One more social media post and she's involuntarily committed. No judge will question it with her history. Good. And the footage? Erased from the server. Only copy is in your private cloud. Zara pressed herself against the wall, trying to control her breathing. This was bigger than celebrity gossip or entertainment industry scandal. This was systematic silencing. She needed to leave now and get the recordings to her editor. But as she turned to find the exit, she came face to face with Maya. Looking for something? Maya asked. Her earlier warmth completely evaporated. Just the restroom, Zara managed, forcing a smile. Through there, Maya pointed, her eyes never leaving Zara's face. Hurry back. Diddy's asking for you. In the restroom, Zara locked the door and took out her phone with trembling hands. She transferred the audio files to her cloud account and sent a text to her editor with the access code. As she was about to call him, there was a knock at the door. Just a minute, she called, quickly sending a final text to her roommate with her location and a warning. When she opened the door, Richardson stood waiting. "Ms. Ellis," he said coldly. "Mr. Combs would like a word. Now." The back room was minimalist in design but exuded opulence. Black leather furniture, a crystal decanter of amber liquid on a silver tray, abstract art worth millions adorning the walls. Diddy sat in a high-backed chair, examining something on a tablet. When Zara entered, he didn't look up immediately. "Zara Ellis," he finally said, placing the tablet face down. "Or should I say, Zara Ellis of Watershed Media, investigative journalist currently working on an exposé about music industry, power dynamics." Ice flooded her veins, but she maintained her composure. "I'm not sure what you mean. I work in digital marketing." Diddy's laugh was without humor. "Please, we vet every person who enters this property. Your credentials checked out superficially. Impressive. Work there. But facial recognition flagged you from a press conference last year. You were in the background, but technology doesn't miss much these days." He gestured to a chair across from him. "Sit." She remained standing. "I think I should leave." "Sit," he repeated, his tone making it clear it wasn't a request. Zara sat calculating her options. Richardson stood blocking the door, and she had no doubt there were others nearby. "What's your angle?" Diddy asked, studying her face. "Celebrity? Dirt? Drug exposé? The tired casting couch narrative?" "I was invited to observe and report on an exclusive social event," she replied carefully. "That's all." He leaned forward. "Let me explain something. What happens in my house stays in my house. Everyone here understands that. Everyone signs the same agreements." He slid a document across the table toward her. "Including you, though you used a fake name on the digital intake form. Legally questionable. The document was an NDA so comprehensive, it practically claimed ownership of her memories of the night. I haven't seen anything worth reporting," she said, pushing the document back. "Just wealthy people enjoying themselves. Then you won't mind emptying your pockets and bag." His smile was cold. Standard security protocol when someone wanders into unauthorized areas. Her mind raced. The recorder was hidden in her clothing, but her phone contained the recently transferred audio files and incriminating text messages. "This is illegal detention," she said, standing abruptly. "I'm leaving now." Richardson stepped forward, but Diddy raised a hand to stop him. "No one's detaining you," Diddy said smoothly. "But understand what you're doing. I've built an empire over decades. Do you think you're the first journalist to try this? Ask yourself why none of those stories ever saw publication." The threat hung in the air between them. "People talk about your parties," Zara said, finding her courage. "The ones who make it out, anyway." Something dangerous flashed in his eyes. "Careful, Ms. Ellis." "Tanya Williams," Zara continued, "attended your Miami event in February, posted cryptic messages, online afterward, institutionalized in March. Jasmine Reynolds, photographed looking distressed leaving your New Year's celebration, retracted her statements, then moved abroad suddenly. Devin Clark, up-and-coming songwriter, last seen entering your studio compound, in April. His family still doesn't know where he is." The room went very still. "You've been busy," Diddy finally said. "Creative fiction is a valuable skill." "Not fiction," Zara countered. "And not just my research. I've recorded tonight's events. The files are already backed up off-site." The lie came easily. Only some files had transferred before she was interrupted. Diddy's expression remained unchanged, but a muscle twitched in his jaw. "Richardson, give us a moment." The security chief hesitated, then stepped outside. When they were alone, Diddy's demeanor shifted subtly. "What do you want? Money? A different story? An exclusive interview? Name it." "I want to walk out of here. Safely with my property," she replied steadily. "What happens next depends on what's on those recordings." He studied her for a long moment before nodding slightly. "You can leave, but understand something. You're playing a game with rules you don't fully comprehend. There are consequences beyond what you can imagine." "Is that a threat?" "It's reality. The industry protects its own." He pressed a button on his desk. Richardson will escort you out. The journey from the basement to the main floor passed in tense silence. Guests were still partying, oblivious to the confrontation that had occurred below. At the front entrance, Richardson handed Zara her clutch purse, which had been taken when she was summoned to the back room. "Your phone," she said, noticing it was missing. "Must have been misplaced during the party," Richardson replied without expression. "Security will contact you if it turns up." She knew it wouldn't. As she walked down the long driveway toward the gate, she felt eyes tracking her movement. The weight of what she'd witnessed and what she'd lost settled over her. Without her phone, some of the evidence was gone, but the recorder remained concealed on her person and at least some files had been uploaded. She had no way to call a ride, so she started walking down the dark, deserted road leading away from the estate. After about 20 minutes, a black SUV slowed beside her. The window lowered, revealing Maya's face. "Need a ride?" Maya asked, her expression unreadable. "I'll walk," Zara replied cautiously. "Don't be stupid. It's 3 miles to the main road and it's nearly 3 a.m. Maya pushed open the passenger door. "Get in. No hard feelings." Against her better judgment, Zara entered the vehicle. They drove in silence for several minutes. "You know they'll destroy you," Maya finally said. "Not physically, that's too obvious. They'll erase your credibility, plant stories, create evidence of journalistic malpractice. By the time they're done, no one will believe anything you report." "Why are you telling me this?" Maya kept her eyes on the road. "Because I was you 5 years ago. Different publication, same idea." She laughed bitterly. "Now I work for him, helping identify potential problems before they spread. Like me. Like you." Maya nodded. "I'm supposed to take you to a secondary location for a more thorough discussion about your recordings. That's the euphemism they use." Zara's hand moved to the door handle, but Maya accelerated. "Don't," Maya warned. "Listen carefully. In 2 minutes I'll stop to check a tire. That's your chance to run. There's a 24-hour diner half a mile east through those woods. Wait there until morning, then get as far from New York as you can. Don't go home, don't contact your editor directly, and assume every electronic device you own is compromised." "Why? Are you helping me?" Maya's knuckles whitened on the steering wheel. "Because Tanya Williams was my friend and I'm tired of watching people disappear." 3 days after Zara Ellis disappeared, Marcus Davis received a package at Watershed Media's office. Inside was a voice recorder and a handwritten note. "The truth costs more than we knew. Make it worth it." The recordings were fragmented but damning. Conversations about blackmail, evidence of coercion, discussions of handling problems. Most crucially, they contained Diddy's direct threats to Zara and his admissions by omission when confronted with the names of missing individuals. Marcus brought the evidence to his chief editor, then to their legal team. Within hours, FBI agents arrived to take possession of the materials as part of an ongoing investigation. 2 weeks later, Watershed published a heavily redacted version of Zara's findings, carefully worded to avoid legal repercussions. Other publications followed suit, each adding pieces to the puzzle. Former attendees of Diddy's parties began speaking out, protected by the growing chorus of voices. The dam had broken. Law enforcement searched Diddy's properties with warrants, based partly on Zara's recordings. Digital forensics teams recovered files thought to be deleted. Former employees offered testimony in exchange for immunity, but Zara remained missing. Maya was found in her Manhattan apartment, apparent suicide, by overdose, though the timing raised questions. Her phone contained a single unsent text message. "I didn't tell them where she went." Months passed. The investigation expanded, then contracted as key witnesses became uncooperative. Evidence disappeared from police lockup. Prosecutors with promising careers suddenly requested transfers to different departments. The story faded from headlines, replaced by newer scandals and celebrity dramas. Then, on the anniversary of that fateful party, every major news outlet simultaneously received an encrypted file containing unedited footage from hidden cameras in Diddy's Hampton's estate. The footage showed everything: the threats, the blackmail, the calculated manipulation of vulnerable young artists. Most importantly, it showed Zara Ellis being forced into Richardson's SUV at gunpoint after attempting to flee through the service entrance. It showed Maya intervening, claiming she would handle the situation personally. It showed Richardson making a call. "We have a problem that needs permanent solving." The footage was authenticated by multiple independent experts. This time, there was no containing the story. Federal agents arrested Diddy and 5 associates the same day. During the raid on his Miami residence, authorities discovered a hidden room containing servers with years of surveillance footage from his properties, inadmissible evidence that nonetheless pointed investigators toward admissible evidence elsewhere. 6 months into the investigation, hikers in the Adirondack Mountains discovered a shallow grave containing remains later identified as Zara Ellis. Forensic evidence tied the location to vehicles registered to Diddy's security company. At his arraignment, Diddy maintained his innocence, his lawyer telling reporters, "My client is being framed by individuals who have long sought to undermine his success and legacy." But the evidence continued mounting as more witnesses came forward. Emboldened by the groundswell of public support for the victims, the case became a turning point in the entertainment industry, a moment when the power dynamics fundamentally shifted. New legislation strengthened protections for whistleblowers and limited the scope of NDAs in cases of criminal activity. Watershed. Media established the Zara Ellis Fellowship for Investigative Journalism, supporting young reporters pursuing dangerous but necessary stories. On what would have been Zara's 28th birthday, her mother stood before a crowd of journalists, activists, and industry reformers. She held up a framed photograph of her daughter, not the somber image circulated in news reports, but one showing Zara laughing on a beach, full of life and purpose. "My daughter knew the risks," she said, her voice steady despite her tears. She knew what could happen, but she believed the truth was worth fighting for. She believed one voice could start a chorus that could not be silenced. The chorus continues growing to this day. Each new voice adds strength to Zara's legacy, a legacy built on the understanding that power unchecked becomes power abused, and that even the most fortified empires can fall when truth finally finds its way into the light. If this story shocked you, subscribe, because the next one is even more incredible. Behind every headline, there's a deeper truth waiting to be uncovered, and someone brave enough to risk everything bringing it into the open.